How is it going, everybody? I am Donut, and I am here with...
They're rights.
Yeah,
it's me, yo.
I didn't know what you wanted to refer to yourself as for this one.
Okay.
This is going up on my channel, but this is not my reaction. This is his reaction.
Oh boy.
I have seen most of the series already. I wouldn't call myself a super fan or anything, but I definitely have seen most of the series and everything.
Okay.
You have no idea what we're even about to react to.
Not at all.
Alright, so we are reacting from the beginning, giving him a chance to react to it for the first time and giving me a chance to talk about it in a retrospective sense. South Park.
Oh boy. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I know how much you love South Park.
At the start, you did tell me two things. You told me it was a 22-minute series.
Yep.
And that I would not want to do it if you told me.
Yes.
Both of those were correct. Oh boy.
Now, how much about South Park do you know? Like, how much have you seen before? How did you grow up and know about South Park and everything?
I grew up just kind of seeing odd episodes. Like, it was always on, like, super late at night, like, right before I went to bed.
Okay.
So, like, I've seen, like, just the odd episode here and there. I've seen the main cast. I don't know if I could name all of them. I mean, there's Cartman, Kenny, Kyle, and... Kevin? No, that's not right.
You can't remember the main character.
Is he the main character? Did you?
I would say... No, that's Kyle. I would say that Stan is the main character of the show.
Stan is the one with the dad with the mustache, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cartman's definitely like the face of South Park and everything, but Stan is definitely, I would say, the main character.
Okay.
You know, it's one of those things, like Lost or something, where like Jack is the main character. It's an ensemble show, but Jack is the main character.
Right. Okay.
He's got obvious main character syndrome, you know. But yeah. So it continue with what you were saying.
That's about it.
Okay, so like, yeah, just a few random episodes here or there.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your opinion on South Park? Like,
I've never been super duper into it. Like, I know, like, you know, the moralizing at the end of each episode is, you know, very much a piss take sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's also very, like, how do I put it? Like, Trey and the other boy are both very hardcore centrists.
Yeah.
And I've never been a fan of, like, centrist
I'm not sure if
comedy.
I would say they're centrist, though. I would say they pretend to, like, I would say they pretend to be, but it's more of, I don't know, I would say they're more leftist leaning. I would.
I guess so.
I wouldn't say they're very centrist. I say they may present those ideas a lot, maybe, but no, I would say they're generally a little bit more leftist.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, I've never been a fan of, like, centrist comedy.
Okay. But yeah, let's just get into it. We're not sure how this is even going to work. You know, I'm springing this on him. We're going to see if this even works as a reaction series or not, and see how it goes.
Boy, all right. The very first episode of South Park.
Very first episode of South Park. So, actually, this episode is the only episode of South Park, like, you know, South Park proper. They've done a few, before this, they did a few, like, special stuff. I'm not sure you knew about that. That was, like, for the internet that they did.
Really? No,
Yeah,
I
and that's
didn't.
what made them so popular. Well, with the style specifically. They did other stuff before that, like Orgasmo. Did you ever see that movie or hear about it?
It's all part of basketball.
Baseball, yes. I actually don't know if baseball came out before or after this. But anyway, so this is done in the stop motion, having, like, taking top-down pictures of pieces of paper.
Okay.
You know, and there's a few parts in it that are computer animated like the rest of the show is. But that was all because actually in this episode they had no idea about the concept of commercials. So they
Okay.
made it a half an hour long, and then they had to cut out 10 minutes of content.
Really?
And then rework in some stuff to make the storylines work. So there's you're gonna be able to tell when it's, you know, classic hand done and when it's the computer animated.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm excited.
All right, let's jump into it, y'all. By the way, you know that, like, you've heard of the South Park in 3 days thing, right? You know that. That, like, they make each episode in 3 days.
Yes,
Yeah, you do know about that. This episode took 3 months to make.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's the pilots.
Which is why it's all computer animated now.
Right.
Come on down to South Park and meet some friends of mine. You can't come to school with me. Yeah, go home, you little dildo. Dude, don't call my brother a dildo. What's a dildo? I don't know. And I'll bet Cartman doesn't know either. I know what it means. Well, what? I'm not telling you. What's a dildo, Kenny? Yeah.
It weirds me out so much with how they're just staring straight at the camera.
Dude, that kicks ass. Yeah, check this one out. Ready, Ike? Kick the baby. Don't kick the baby. Kick the baby. I dreamt that I was lying in my bed, in the dark, when all of a sudden
This definitely feels way more like an internet video than it does a TV show, like, you know, episode of a cartoon.
It's very skit heavy.
Yeah.
I was lying on a table, and these scary aliens wanted to operate on me. And they had big heads and big black eyes. Dude, visitors, totally. Visitors are real. Yeah, they have
Boy, these mouths are...
Shut up, you guys. You're just trying to make me scared, but it's not working.
Hello there, children.
Hey, Chef.
Say, did any of you children see the alien spaceship last night?
Yeah, that boy saw it. No, that was just a dream. And I'm not fat, I'm big bone.
Oh, was it the ones with the big long heads and the black eyes?
No, they took him on their ship.
Oh, did they give you an anal probe?
What's an anal probe?
That's when they put this big metal hoopajou up your butt.
Whoa, they gave you an anal probe, Cartman? No, I mean, why would they do that?
Well, I got to get to the cafeteria. You children watch that fat boy now. He could be under alien control.
This one's for the game. Kick the baby.
Kick the baby.
Why?
It's so slow motion.
They put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah. I do love the style of, like, it's kind of really bad, but I do love the, like, being able to see the shadows and stuff.
Yeah, it's really distinct.
Yeah, whatever, you fat bitch. What did you say? I said I have a bad itch. Oh! Oh my god!
Okay.
Visitors!
What is this plot?
Stop the butt! Sit down!
What?
Cartman, are those the same visitors you saw? Get up, you guys. It's not working. We have to do something. Well, we can't do anything for now. That fat bitch won't let us. What did you say? I said that rabbits eat lettuce. Oh. Well, yes, they certainly do. You farted.
What is this episode?
That's right, Mr. Garrison. Christopher Columbus discovered
Boy, that looks
America
so weird.
and was the Indians' best friend. He helped the Indians win their war against Frederick Douglass and free the Hebrews from
Oh,
Napoleon.
that mouth looks so
and
weird.
discovered France.
Can I please be excused from class?
I don't know, Kyle. Did you ask Mr. Hat?
I don't want to ask Mr. Hat. I'm asking you.
Oh, I think you should ask Mr. Hat.
Mr. Hat, may I please be excused from class?
Well, Kyle. No! You hear me? You go to hell! You go to hell and you die! Guess you'll have to take your seat, Kyle.
Damn it! Ass! Damn, Cartman!
Oh, that sound effect is just somebody going...
Shooting fire from Cartman's rectum! No, that was just a dream.
Eric, do you need to sit in the corner until your flaming gas is under control?
No, Mr. Garrison, I'm fine.
Okay. That's a commercial break.
That sure is a commercial break.
No, don't try any of that cow hypnosis on me, alright? Because it's not gonna work.
Hold it right there, cows.
I just noticed his car says to patronize and annoy. The fact that the eyes are pasted onto the actual thing, making the shadows behind the eyes when they blink and stuff, is so unnerving.
It's very distinct.
Let me sing you a little song. It might clear things up. I'm gonna make love to you, woman. Gonna lay you down by the fire. And caress your womanly body. Make you moan and perspire. Gonna get those juices flowing. We're making love, baby, love, baby, love, baby. Huh? Do you feel better?
No. What? That was cool.
It's some kind of symbiotic metamorphosis device. This could mean the visitors want to communicate with us.
I know I didn't have an anal probe, and I know that I am not under alien control.
I love to sing and the June and the springer. I love to sing about a sky of blue or a keyboard too.
What the hell was that? Bring me back my little brother, goddammit! Oh, that hurt you, butt licker! Kyle, look, it's them! Give me
Did it
back
work? It worked.
Oh my god! They killed Kenny! You bastard!
I remember this
First
joke.
one.
Hey, look! I think Kenny's okay! Oh! Wow, poor Kenny. Now you believe us, Cartman? No, Cartman, they killed Kenny. He's not dead. He's dead, Cartman. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Go on and go home, you fat chicken. Dildo. Poor Ike must be so scared. Up there all alone. You gotta help me, dude. Dude, like Chef says, I gotta get a piece of lovin' while the getting's hot. Rats.
But tish.
Hello, Eric.
All live action photos look so bad.
It's so weird.
You can have an eensy weensy bed, can't you?
No!
Just a weensy eensy woo.
No! Leave me alone, Mom!
How about a nice chocolate chicken pot pie then?
Well, that does sound pretty good. Mom,
Yes, huh?
if anybody
Who is
calls and
that?
comes over,
I don't know.
Sure, huh?
I never know.
Want some cheesy boobs too?
yeah, I want kissy boobs.
Does she have a black eye?
I don't know.
Hi, Stan. Ew. Yeah, talk to Stan, Wendy. He throws up when you do. But why, Stan? Ew. Look, could you guys just get down to business so we can go find my little brother? Huh? Just make sweet love down by the fire. What happened to your little brother?
These crop circles, when viewed from above, form strange patterns.
Hey, that kind of looks like Tom Selleck.
Aliens are trying to make contact with us here on Earth.
If the fat kid has something implanted in his ass, maybe the visitors are using him as part of their plan. You should use the fat kid as bait to bring them back. Hey, you're right, Wendy. Come on, Stan.
Look how she doesn't know his name.
Come on, Stan. Ew.
Oh.
Wait. When do I get to make sweet love?
You're telling me if they cut out 10 minutes? There's a lot of things here I would have cut out.
Let me tell you, there's a whole Sandro situation, which they cut out an entire character, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a fifth character. I guess a sixth if you count Wendy.
I think we have to signal them somehow.
Shadows look so weird at night.
Yeah.
Hey!
Also, this whole thing is just a black board with holes poked through it.
Okay.
And the visitors are sure to come.
That's why it gives off like the shiny feel.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
I'm sick of it. It's completely amateur. Hey, it's happening again.
That was very elaborate.
Look at that. Now do you believe us, Cartman? You guys can't scare me. Visitors, this morning you took my brother, Ike. He's the little freckled kid.
Like it like calls them the visitors, not the aliens.
Happy to put him away, but I've learned something today. That having a little brother is a pretty special thing. Yeah. Ah, heck, Mr. Visitors. I'm just a kid all alone in this crazy world. But if you could find it in your hearts or whatever you have to give my brother back to me, sure would make my life brighter again. That was beautiful, dude. Did it work? Nope, they're leaving. Hey, you squatty ass shit! What the is wrong with you? You must be some kind of to be able to ignore a crying child. Whoa, dude. You know what you like. You like it. Hey, Wendy, what's up? What we doing there? Hey!
Okay.
No!
It worked.
No! Come on, Ike!
What is this plot?
From now on! Don't kiss the baby. What the hell are they talking about?
Okay. What?
Cows the most intelligent creatures on Earth. It's canon.
Well, Chef, where's this amazing thing you're gonna show us?
Well, it's in the bedroom, ladies. Come on in.
Come on, Ike. We can make it just in time for dinner. Thanks for your
Improvise.
help, Wendy.
Adapt.
Hey, I didn't throw up. Cool.
Oh no. Oh no.
Mm.
Ew, alright. Hey, look! A french fry. Cool. And what is that? I think it's part of the cheesy poof. Hey, what's that? That's,
This is bonding.
hamburger from-
Interesting, Chef.
from like 2 days ago.
Oh no, it's still
Hey,
going.
Still going.
Here any minute, and Cartman still isn't around. Yeah, we're running out of friends. I wonder what that thing was that the visitors gave the cows.
I love to sing the tuna and the springer. I love to sing
The ultimate weapon.
And then I went up on the ship, and Scott Baio gave me pink eye. That wasn't a dream, Cartman. That really happened. Ah, son of a bitch!
That's it.
What? What?
That was the first episode.
I mean, you said I'd be able to guess what they cut out, or like where the cutouts.
No,
were.
I didn't say you'd be able to guess where they cut out, but like where the
Mm-hmm.
like computer graphics was
Okay.
for the spaceship when it first was like
yeah.
beaming, doing the beam and everything,
hmm
or when the satellite unfolded out of Cartman's ass. I believe was also computer animated.
Yeah, I can see that. Their mouths also look computer animated.
No,
Really?
no, definitely not.
Really?
Yeah, all the mouths are like they had to cut out individual, mouths for each mouth shape for different sounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's primarily why it
Okay.
took in 3 months.
Oh,
Is
wow.
mainly just the mouths.
Okay.
Yeah, that takes a lot of time. Which is why computer animating it takes so much easier now.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, like, it still probably didn't take 3 days in season 1 or anything. That was something that happened way later in its run.
Right.
But, yeah, still. Yeah, that was the first episode. We're going to be rating each episode out of 5 stars.
Okay.
Especially because it's so episodic.
Yeah.
What would you give this one? I'm gonna give this one a 1 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I'm also giving it a 1 out of 5.
It's very clearly the pilot. It's very clearly 2 guys who were doing this sort of style thing as just internet projects. And even if they had budgets to make those, they were still doing it primarily for internet reasons.
Right.
And it definitely still feels like that in this episode. I'll also say, this episode had a almost unanimously negative, feedback, or reception, I should say.
Really?
When it came out.
Okay.
Yeah. Almost unanimously, everybody hated it. It has to do a lot with the time that it came out and stuff as well. One of the biggest criticisms of it was how crude it was, and one of the biggest criticisms is that it was cruder and not as introspective as shows like Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, boy.
Or The Simpsons or something like that.
I can see that.
Yeah. But, yeah, I can definitely, it's clear what they were going for in this, but I think they played a little bit too heavy on the kids being kids to the point of it being, I get what they were going, but it's awkward and stilted.
Yeah.
The dialogue doesn't feel natural. The voice acting doesn't feel natural. Everything just feels a little bit stiff in this episode.
Yeah, it feels like they had a bunch of bits they really wanted to cram into the first episode. They could have spaced out a bit more.
Yeah. There is a lot going on in this episode. So even though it was a 1 out of 5, what was your favorite joke of the episode?
Oh boy, favorite joke.
My favorite joke of the episode, I think, is just the on the bus when Kyle is asking to get off the bus, and Miss Crabtree, the bus driver, just starts screaming at him, and they just start screaming back and forth.
That one was really good. Mine's probably the chocolate chicken pot pie. Just the existence of
Just
it.
the concept of chocolate chicken pot pie.
Like, specifically the setup of, I don't want to have the stack of pancakes with the donuts on it, but the chocolate chicken pot pie does sound good. I can't my Cartman's fat now.
Yeah. It's honestly not his problem as much as it is his mom's problem.
Yeah.
But what would you say are the themes of this episode? What were the themes brought up, and what was the the lesson? I guess every episode I want to do.
Okay.
What was the primary lesson? What was the lesson learned? And what were the themes brought up? I think that the lesson learned honestly has less importance over the themes.
I could see that.
But
because the lesson learned, I guess, was that having a brother is cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But this episode didn't really show that at
No,
all.
it
Besides,
didn't.
it's fun to kick Ike.
Yeah. The lesson is very the lesson I guess there is no real lesson for this one. Because the brother thing is more of a joke than an actual lesson they learned or whatever.
Right.
But I guess that's what they were going for. He did learn that in a sense.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't kick my brother through windows. I do love that he kicks Ike through the bus windows and the bus driver doesn't even care.
Yeah.
He just doesn't even react. But yeah, what would you say are the themes of this episode?
I don't know. There was a lot there.
I would say what being a child or I guess specifically adults not understanding children.
Okay.
Things from Chef singing the song about making love and then having no idea what it is and repeating it throughout the episode when they don't know what they're talking about. Things like them introducing the word dildo at the beginning and then Cartman uses it again later, not knowing what it means.
Yeah.
And things like that being brought up where they continue to just parrot things that they're hearing without knowing
I guess
what it actually means. And so they're being extremely crude, but they don't really even know what they're saying most of the time.
Right.
They're just saying it as an insult to say. But yeah, I would say that's one of the big themes there of kids are crude, but they're not crude because they're trying to get a rise out of someone. It's just learned behavior.
Right.
It's learned from the people around them, and then those adults are also the ones that criticize them for it.
Yeah.
Let's say don't say that, and stop saying that. But yeah, other themes besides that, I don't know if there is another theme besides that. Is there anything else? I can't really think of one. There's no real theme. The aliens are there, but I don't think there's a theme around aliens or anything going on there.
I guess they play into the whole miscommunication thing.
Yeah, but I would say it's a bit. I would say that is exemplified better in other episodes of the adults not trusting the kids.
Right.
Because in this, it would be weird for them to trust them. It would be weird if they were to oh, okay, there's aliens, so sure,
No, I mean the aliens themselves are miscommunicating. It seems like their end goal was they wanted to find cows and talk to them.
Their end goal, I guess, was to come to Earth and find the intelligent species and give them this thing which can make someone start dancing and I gotta sing.
Yeah. Wait, then what was with the crop circle of Cartman?
I don't know. He was just, I guess, their messenger.
I guess.
Again, there's 10 minutes whole cut out, so I guess there's probably a thing with Cartman that they cut out.
Oh, that would make sense.
Because, I'm not sure what the whole session with Cartman was, or why they took Ike.
Yeah.
And then they took Cartman again.
Scott Baio was there.
Yeah, Scott Baio was there. He gave him pink eye. That's canon.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, I was very surprised at how many characters and locations and stuff came up in this first episode. I remembered it being way more just I remember it being a lot less than this. I forgot that they went to school. We saw Mr. Garrett. We saw Mr. Hat. We saw the store times Tom's rhinoplasty, which I would not have guessed came up in this episode already. Not that it came up, but it was there in the background. Right. Just that the background setting is so consistent.
Yeah.
That even back here, it's god damn, everything still looks the same in the last season I watched, which I believe was 21 or 22 or whatever. And it's yeah, it's crazy how it's set in stone it was from the beginning to me.
I guess they must have made all the sets over those 3 months then.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of the town that, comes up way later and the town changes over time and stuff, which is one of the greatest things about, the 2 games that are out for South. Well, there's more than 2 games, the 2 main games.
Okay.
Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole. or fractured butthole. It's so hard to not say it's just fractured butthole. But yeah, they both have like it's the same town, but it can be two different maps just because of when the games came out in terms of what was happening in each season.
Okay.
But yeah, the town does stay, I would say, relatively the same, and just adding to it over time more.
Okay.
Yeah, well, like Wendy having such a big role in this episode, I was surprised about. Like, I didn't remember her being that big of a character in this episode. Very like intelligent of a character as well.
They did explain everything that was going on. It was off screen, but they did apparently just explain all of it.
Yeah.
Except maybe without using Cartman's name?
I guess so. She does know just as the fat one. The fat kid in my class. But yeah, I like also this episode coming out for the first time. I would love to have seen people's reactions to Kenny for the first time in this first episode. Like, just killing off a character, one of the main characters in the first episode.
Yeah. I mean, I do know he comes back.
Yes, obviously. But yeah, I think that was a strong gag to just kill him off and then just, like, not address it all. It goes against the canon of the show a little bit, but we'll get to that at a later date.
Okay.
But yeah, is there anything else you have to say?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, next episode will be computer animated, and every other episode from here on out will be computer animated.
Okay.
So we have that to look forward to. Not going to be so stilted everything. But yeah, are you interested in continuing with this?
I think I am.
All right.
It is an interesting series.
Yeah. I think because you know, have so little experience with it, you know plenty through the cultural osmosis and
right.
Seen a couple episodes here and there, but like your honestly like aversion to it is why I want to go through this with you.
Okay.
It is a lot. It's just me going through it in a retrospective, and I really just wanted to. I didn't want to just this be me watching the episodes again, so I wanted you to be here.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun time.
Glad you're enjoying it.
All right.
We'll see you guys for the next one. If you want to see the next one already, you can get early access for it. I'm not sure if we're going to do a full length of this one or not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Till then, get the fuck out of here.